Good morning. Mitch and I are here together, and what we're trying to prepare is a short video that will provide some instructions and a video how-to go create your list of volunteers that have been approved to go to camp. And then we're going to show you where the source document is that is on UT Extension's website if you want to see these printed instructions of how to generate these lists. And then we'll provide you at the end sort of what we would like to do once you get this list created as far as who to send it and when to. So what you should be seeing now is our Eastern Region website. And what I'm going to do is go through the different websites to get you to where this help sheet is located. So the best thing to do is if you'll start with our Eastern Region site, and then we want to go to the state extensions website. If you're on the ER site, you can come right up to extension. That'll add you a new tab, and that'll bring you right up to our state site. We move over to About. We come right down to Departments and Centers. Bring that up. You should see your map. And you look down over to the right under Departments and Centers, and we come down to Extension Evaluation and Staff Development. Select that one. That also has all of the human resources on here, but you've now got to make a decision which tab is this under. And we want to scroll right over to the right here and select Super. Drop down that window list to Super, Tip Sheets, and Help. We'll select that one. And then we come down to the area under Enrollment. And if we'll move all the way to the bottom selection here where it says Volunteer Leader Entry in Enrollment, select that one. That'll bring you a new tab up. It's fairly large, so what I like to do here, it may ask you if you want to make this, just go ahead and click that OK or cancel and get it out. But if you move your arrow down, you can see that you get this toolbar, and I can decrease the size of that to where I can see a page at a time. Now you may need to adjust that based on your monitor and viewing abilities, but I know if I'll do that, then I can go down page by page to where this starts, because it's not at the beginning. There's more than one thing in this instructions, but very good instructions in all of it. I know that we want to go to page 9, because if I scroll to 9 and where it starts here at Enrollment List, and see now I can bring this back up and be larger to where you could see it. And that's where this volunteer list. But from here to at this bottom third of page 9, all the way through the end of this tip sheet to here is what right above enrollment rollover are all the printed instructions on how to generate these lists that we're going to do today. So you can come back and watch the video and be able to locate that at your leisure. However, for those of you going to camp the first week, leisure is pretty short, because we were going to need to get this done by Monday before or by the time you arrive at camp. So the next thing then we want to do is, how do you truly go into Super and generate this? All right, I'm going to switch out of Internet Explorer, and I'm going to go to my Firefox for this. I already have Super open. Obviously, you're going to need to log into Super. Mine happens to come up to my delivery dashboard, so I need to come over and select Enrollment. Then I'm going to need to go to List. All right, and I think the first view that you see will have the General tab, which is here at the left over that toolbar. You want to come down this little box. These are new boxes. It's not been in here before. Child Protection Report. Check mark that. You can make sure the contact info, it should be set, I think, only to your county. I'm going to be looking in Eastern Region. We have some fictitious names that we're going to put on here.
I think it defaults back to the region, so you'll have to check back to your county.
Yeah, I think they only see county. I think you will only see your county as an option there. But I did not want to use a specific county and pull up real data, because in making this available, once we get it aired, we're going to load it up on YouTube, which is what you will be seeing it under. So I didn't want to use any counties and put your real data up on the web. Somebody could find it. There's not anything confidential there, but still it would list their name and associate them with the county. So I don't want to do that. So we're using Eastern Region. You can leave, if it comes up here, you know, any race, ethnicity, any gender, all those set on any. So then we're going to come to volunteerism. It's going to be our next tab. Key thing here, there's a lot of data here. Where we want to work with is on this left side of the screen. The first thing we're going to do, the extension volunteer, we need to open that and select that from yes. And then we're going to have to adjust the date range. We can leave the 2007 January 1 as a beginning date range, but on the to range, I would go ahead and select all the way to 2016, and I would just go ahead and move it to December 1. That way we know that any of our activity is going to fall in that date range that we're looking for. Notice that, again, we're keeping base program as any. We're going to leave approved application as any and volunteer level as any. And what that will do then is generate us any of the volunteers that you have in there in this time frame, which it could be a lot depending on how many people you have marked. I could visualize Knox County being a significant quantity. Anyway, let's search and see what we get. Super's thinking about it. Okay, so what it has done is brought us a list up, and you notice here in the middle of the screen we have our tables that generate our racial ethnic statistics, gives you the breakdown and then the quantity of volunteers that we have, and then over to the right, the gender statistics. The one thing we know, if you generate a report and these numbers are 0, it will not export to Excel even though you have a number of names. Because if you were to go up to the volunteer level and try to select either a 1 or 2 or 3 and narrow that field down, right now, since these have just been created in May, to make this happen, there's still an issue with Super that once you select the filter for a level, it's not putting the statistics in these tables, which then prohibits the file from being exported to Excel. So that's why we've got to leave these things left as any and get them all. And you can notice then that we have, it says we should have 5 names. We've got 5 names, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so at this point, you can look at this list and tell if you've got something, but we can't really print or do anything from it. So what we need to do is go ahead and export that out to Excel. And your button here is to do that. And if you'll click that, it's going to come up, and this window will pop up. It may look a little different depending on the browser you're in, meaning are you in Internet Explorer? Are you in Chrome? Are you in Firefox? Are you in Microsoft Edge for those Windows 10 users? This happens to be a screen that goes with Firefox. But I want to open with Microsoft Excel, and its file name is going to be list1.aspx. So let me tell it, okay. It'll think about it a minute. It's bringing it to my other screen. I'll pull it here on the screen we have shared. And here we go. Now, you may not be able to see that, so I'm going to increase our font size. I can just come down to the zoom bar and bring that up to where we can get it large enough to be able to see on the screen. Jenny is watching this as we go, so I want to stop a minute and say, Jenny, is this large enough for you to see on the screen?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can't see all of it now. I could see it all before you made it larger.
Right. Yeah, it's only partial here, but I want to make sure it's large enough for you to visualize. Okay. So what I've got to do is I'll pull it over so you can see, get us to the top. So the first thing then, because it brings everything in, you're going to need to manipulate Excel some. And what I'd recommend doing is just go ahead and highlight those 14 columns. Do a right click, tell it to delete, and just wipe those out. Then what you've got to look at is how many of these volunteers do you need? Okay, so what you can do is you can come up and let's see if my data sort's going to work okay. So I can come to data, I can come to sort, and I want to sort by, right now I'm going to sort by this column I, which is my level on it. So let's see if it'll let me do that. Oh, can't sort yet.
David, you could have sorted. You just needed to tell it that you had the headers.
Yeah, well. This is definitely not a how to use Excel. This is how to get out what you want. Because we will all do it a little bit different. All right, I want column I. And I get my little arrows. Okay.
David,
Yes.
go back to sort.
All right. Now, I'm going to have to cut this file off and regenerate it.
No, 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 no. Just go up into click on right there. Now go to sort. Now tell it my data has headers. No, go over to the right. There you go.
All right.
And now click on buy. There you go.
Volunteer level. Still won't do it. So I'm not going to go into the how-to with Excel because
That might be a Windows 10 type.
that I'm going all this. So the key is once we get here, it's going to have to be sorted to where you get all of your people that have your background checks. So if I pull over here, here's my background check dates. I've got that in for fictitious. I wanted to have different things to show you can have different pieces in here, what they look like. So once you get them sorted, then you want, for this particular report, you want to eliminate all the people that are not going to camp. So you only want to remain the list of people that's going to camp. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to delete one row at a time. And I know that if you have a large amount of data, it's going to take longer to do this. But anyway, then I keep my two folks and see, I've still got 2 level 3s. I've got one that has background check, one it doesn't, because that's basically what we would get to. If I go in here and I go ahead and delete that one.
You just deleted your youth.
Oh, did I delete my youth too?
Yeah, hit you back up.
All right.
Time twice, and then you'll have it there. You
Yeah.
deleted your youth. But now you got that one there.
All right, let me delete that one. Because what you want to end up with is you want to end up with those adults that have a background check that's going to camp, and then you need your level 2 youth leaders that are going as teen leaders. That's the list we want to maintain. And at this point, we thought about saying you could delete some of these columns, but I think what we need to do is let's leave this report intact. And what you're going to want to do is save it. And then on the Monday you're going to camp, when it's all finalized, email this report to Aislinn, to Connie High School, and then the region staff, either which is going to be Mitch or I, since Linda's on leave, just Mitch or I or Connie for the week that you have. And what you should do then is come here and let's add a row. And you could put on here that this is your volunteer list for junior camp. And this is any county. And this is junior camp week. And maybe it could be May 30 through June 3, or whichever week yours is. Save it, and then on the Monday go to camp, email that to Aislinn as an attachment, email it to Connie High School, and then email it to either Mitch or I, because those of you going first week, Linda's out, no need to send it. She's not running her email. So that gives us the things that we need to do. You can go to that website, Office Staff Development, and look at the printed instructions. Then you can go into Super and generate this, because this list is something that, that the camp's going to need to keep on file for that.
Mm-hmm.
And as time goes, for other events that we have, this same process to generate the adult leaders and all their information that goes with them, because I can visualize this needing to happen for Congress, Roundup, junior high camp, other things like that. So if you do have a question on it, you can call Mitch or I or Jenny. Jenny sat through and gone through the whole sequence to this. So Mitch, is there anything more we need to add?
Yeah, only thing I would say is, Monday at the camp, you may have all this stuff done the week before. So if you've got that, and hopefully with your leaders, you will. This first week, probably not so much with the new stuff, but, like for next week or the week after, you may have all your leaders have them all set up by halfway through the week and have this all in there, and you can go ahead and put that in there and send it on.
Go ahead and send it.
So,
Right. You don't have to wait till the Monday.
Yeah, you don't have to wait till the Monday, but
it has to be done by the Monday you arrive to camp.
Very similar, in a very similar fashion to our final numbers. That we're gonna get to Aislinn on that Monday afternoon. We need to have this, but the difference is going to be this is coming from the county rather than coming from our co-director. So this is not going to be our co-director's job. Or our co-director is going to be getting, or our director is going to be getting those final numbers to Aislinn on Monday afternoon. All this data is coming from each county with what their leader information.
Because you have access to your county data. Only we here at the region have access to pull up your specific county's data. The camp directors can't generate that.
Right. So the camp directors will be dealing with final numbers and all that for the whole camp. But you're going to have to be sending this directly to Aislinn for that. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're doing that.
All right. Hopefully this helped. We thought that this would be the simplest way for you to go through and see what it looks like and be able to generate these for you. Now you can go in those lists and separate them by the level 3s. The problem is it will not export that report to Excel. So you've got to bring them all in and sort them in Excel and delete the ones out until they get that other part repaired. And I don't expect it to be repaired until after this camping season. So
yeah, we're good.
All right. Disregard the poor diagnosis in Excel operation, but otherwise it gets you what you want, and hopefully this will be a benefit.